Hello everybody, my name is Amanda and I'm the webmistress for my blog From Midwest to Metropolis, my journey from a small town in Indiana to Tokyo, Japan. So basically what I would like to do today is say hello. This is my first video blog. I decided to give it a shot considering I'm having a little bit of a hard time right now with being sick and being able to type out all those articles that I want to type. I figured talking about them would be a little bit easier. So what I'm going to discuss today is a concept that a lot of Japanese students are really familiar with. All of them, most likely, but there is those itty bitty bit of, inconsistencies. But what I'm going to talk about is basically a self-introduction or a Jiko Shokai. Now what a Jiko Shokai is basically around about what you're thinking from the name. It's introducing yourself, but it goes a little bit beyond, hi, my name is such and it is nice to meet you. What is your name? The Japanese, like they do with a lot of things, tend to run with a concept. And so the idea of a Jiko Shokai is not only kind of quintessential to a Japanese education, but living in Japan itself. Um, but don't let that scare you. It's not as bad as it sounds, even though some people really hate it and some people really like it. It's like with most things. Um, the pressure comes with the fact that it's used a lot. I mean, when you get up in front of a new class, when you go places, you always introduce yourself, and if you're a salaryman, pronounced a little bit Japanese there, you'll generally do a short Jiko Shokai and hand a business card over. If you're a student like me, a yugakuse, a study abroad student, cross your fingers, um, you'll be doing this a lot as well when you introduce yourselves to the locals and your new classmates. Um, so basically, the integral parts of the Jiko Shokai are obviously your name, generally your age, really, or what year in school you are. Um, so like I'm a sannensei, which is I'm a third year, but I put daigaku sannensei because I'm a college student, not a high school student. There's also, you can put the company you work for, which is really important because Japan is about social hierarchies. And so, what company you work for is really important in judging if you're going to use certain keigo, which is polite language, which I'll get into later, give you some verbal examples. But for now, that's pretty much it. You can have optional information such as telling about your home life, where you live, what your family is like, such as your mother works here, or if you're married, your husband works here. Generally, it's a little sexist, but husbands won't tell where their wives work. It's generally, at least in the older generations, wives are expected to be housewives. Um, which, considering I study women's studies, is a little bit for me, but whatever. Um, basically, uh, that's it. It seems, I mean, I built it up a little bit, but really, it's not that hard once you practice it a little bit, and generally you do. I mean, it's something you practice a lot. For example, off the top of my head, I can do mine pretty much, or the basics of mine. Uh, so let's give it a shot so you can see what it sounds like. 私の自己紹介。私はアマンダ・バネットです。高校で日本語を始めたので、大学に入った時も日本語をもっと勉強したかったです。今はパデュ大学の3年生で、日本語と情勢学を専攻しています。将来はの車会社で通訳になりたいです。しかし、最近日本語の教師になることも考えています。まだどちらにするかわかりません。残念ですね。言い方。私の有名なの仕事は有名な漫画家になることです。 暇な時、私は絵を描いたり、本を読んだり、詩やショートストーリーを書いたりするのが好きです。仕事で疲れた後で、簡単な食事を作るのが楽しいです。最近体が痛くなるので、お風呂に入るのも好きです。また、友達や私の家族と遊ぶのも楽しいです。友達と家族は私にとてもとても大切です。2年前、姉は女の赤ちゃんを出産しました。私の目はとても可愛いだと思います。目と遊ぶのもとても楽しいです。本当に大好きだよ。今、アパートに住んでいます。少し遠いですけど、アパートの前にバス停があって便利です。アパートでは一人で住んでいるので、時々寂しくなります。でも、去年から猫を飼い始まったので嬉しいです。猫ちゃんはレミです。レミはとても可愛いです。でも、時々うるさいです。でも、まだ大好き。So that was my Jiko Shokai. It was really basic. Hello, my name is Amanda. I started studying Japanese when I was in high school, and because of that, I wanted to continue it when I entered college. Right now, I'm a third year student at Purdue, which means I'm a junior. And I'm studying Japanese and women's studies. In the future, I said I wanted to be a translator for a car company at A Town. However, recently, actually, I've been thinking about becoming a Japanese teacher. But at this point, I don't know really which one I want to do. On the other hand, my dream job is to be a really famous manga artist, and manga is basically comic book in Japan. Then I said, in my free time, I like to draw, I like to read, and I like to write poems and short stories. Because after my job, I'm really tired. I also like to cook simple foods and simple meals. Um, Also, I've been sick recently, and so I feel like an old person saying this, but I also like to take bubble baths at the end of my shift a lot. And also, I made note that I love hanging out with my friends and family and doing things with them, and that I really look forward to it. And that my friends and my family were very, very important to me. And then I mentioned my baby niece. If you know me in person, you know I go crazy over her. She was born 2 years ago, and I love her to pieces. She is the most adorable thing ever. And then I said basically, I live alone in an apartment, which it's a little bit, it's not far, far away from campus, but it's far enough that I can't really walk comfortably. And so I mentioned that and the fact that there's a bus stop right in front of it and that is convenient. And then I also mentioned that, yeah, because I live alone, I sometimes get lonely. However, last year I got a cat and I'm happy. His name's Remy, and I said he was adorable, even though sometimes he was a pain in the butt. And that's basically it. Anything else, like I elaborated a little bit, on my cat and my niece, because those are generally things I'm really excited about, and it's hard for me to contain. Ask anybody who knows me. Um, but that's basically what you need to do, what you need to accomplish. It's short, it's simple, it's to the point, and it gives a little bit of information about yourself that people might find interesting, and so you might make friends and be able to build connections. Like, oh, another one of my classmates has a cat, so he or she might bond with me over that. Um, and that's it. That's I made it sound a little bit tougher than it actually is. Um, but it is really integral to learning Japanese and even studying abroad in Japanese. So I hope you enjoyed the first video blog of ever on this, and I hope to do it again.